Bernard.
Yes, Prime Minister.
Had a good lunch?
Oh, quite good, thank you, Prime Minister.
Where'd you have it?
In the Cabinet Mess.
3 courses?
Yes.
Wine?
A glass of claret, yes.
Would you like to know what I had for my lunch?
Oh, do you want to tell me, Prime Minister?
Nothing.
Ah, are you dieting?
It seems there are facilities for feeding you and all the private secretaries, the entire Cabinet Office, the press office, the gardening girls, the messengers, but not for me, and I live here.
I'm sorry, can't Mrs. Hacker cook for you?
She's out at work.
Oh. Well, we'll get you a cook.
Who would pay for it?
You will, it's your cook.
How much?
Full-time, between 8,000 and 10,000 a year.
I can't afford that.
Well, perhaps if you had a word with the Cabinet Secretary.
Yes, bring him here, now.
Yes, he's due here in a few minutes in any case, so shall we press on with the affairs of the nation?
Stuff the affairs of the nation, I want to cook. Humphrey, I've been thinking.
Good.
I've been Prime Minister for, let me see, 3 days now.
And a very good PM you are, too, if I may say so.
I'm not fishing for compliments, though it has been going rather well, hasn't
Oh, indeed. Anything else?
it? Yes, one small thing. I need a cook housekeeper for the flat upstairs.
Well, I'm sure you can advertise.
No, I mean a government cook housekeeper.
Ah. Now, that could be difficult.
Why?
Well, it's a private home. It just happens to be in a government building.
I just happen to live there. I just happen to eat there. I want somebody to cook my lunch. It's not unreasonable.
No, it's just not possible.
You mean I have the power to blow up the world, but not to ask for scrambled eggs?
You have the power to ask for them.
What if I have to ask the German ambassador?
Well, that's all right. Official engagement. Government hospitality will happily provide a 7-course meal with 3 wines and brandy. No problem.
You mean the German ambassador's lunch is government business, but mine isn't?
That is so. Not just the German ambassadors, of course, any ambassadors.
Fine. Bernard, get the diary. On Monday, I'll have lunch with the German ambassador. On Tuesday, with the French ambassador. On Wednesday, the American ambassador. Oh, mustn't leave out the Commonwealth. On Thursday, I'll have lunch with the New Zealand High Commissioner. How many countries are there in the UN?
Well, 158.
Good, that'll take up about 6 months, then we'll start round again.
You're not free to have lunch with ambassadors every day. Sometimes there will be other official lunches.
Even better, we'll fill up the odd gaps.
I think that the Foreign and Commonwealth Office might have some views on that.
Oh, why?
Well, they always say that one Prime Minister's lunch with an ambassador destroys 2 years of patient diplomacy. I'm not quite sure how they'd react to 158.
It's absurd that we haven't got somebody here to cater for us.
It's the way things have been done for 2.5 centuries.
And that's the clinching argument.
It has been for 2.5 centuries.
Oh, with respect, Sir Humphrey, it can't have been the clinching argument for 2.5 centuries, because half a century ago it had only been the clinching argument for 2 centuries, and a century ago only for 1.5 centuries. Sorry.
Humphrey, I'm not convinced. I want a cook housekeeper, and I want you to see that she's paid for.
Well, let me put it like this. Do you really want the press to announce that your first act as Prime Minister was to give yourself an effective salary increase of £8,000 to £10,000 a year?
We wouldn't tell them.
We have no alternative. Prime Minister's salaries and expenses must be published.
You mean there's really no way that we can't not tell them?
Open government, Prime Minister. Freedom of information. We should always tell the press freely and frankly anything that they could easily find out some other way.
Must be some solution.
There hasn't been for 2.5 centuries. Now, maybe perhaps discuss government business, Prime Minister. You were saying that you'd been thinking.